They said go downstairs and get on the schedule. I walk through the doors. They got the cameras on me. Boom. How's it feel to work here? This, that, and other. I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? First black dude on a reality show like that. A week later became Miami Ink. We were on A&E. They were on TLC. You know what I mean? That went through. I tattooed a bunch of cats, a bunch of celebrities. Pink, Hulk Hogan, Tony Hawk. You know what I mean? Dontrell Willis.
Yeah, you could look that show up. I mean, that was a great show. And seeing your homie up on the big stage, like I
got Droop and those cats on that show, and Sev when they came on and checked me out, and Chris.
See, look at that. Always get.
Yo, so Church, after that, the Carrie Hart and the Maloofs got into a beef because Carrie was banging one of George's girlfriends. So they moved Hart and Hunt into the Hard Rock. And when they went to the Hard Rock, I had tattooed a couple guys that were from Count's Customs. Count's Customs is his dad is actually from Ohio. He had a radio station here in Ohio. His name is Danny Coker, like Coker Tire style. We start shooting this shit. He like, I'm from Ohio. I'm from Cleveland. We start shooting this shit. He like, yo, since this is closing down, once you come with me, I'm opening a shop with my best friend Vince Neil.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, oh shit. So while they building out Vince Neil in the Rio, I'm tattooing like Frank Mir and he's over at Count's spot.
Right.
He was like, yo, I want to do a TV show.
Yeah.
We shoot a TV show. It don't really work. I mean, you shoot a pilot. It don't really work. But I told him, I said, dude, you so crazy. You got so many cars. He was building cars for Vince Neil, like all these rock stars, and bikes. Using Sugar Bear front ends, which is a black dude.
Right.
So before you know it, I'm like, yo, dude, you should do your own show with your cars or whatever, this and that, because he's a super cool dude. So he gets with Vince Neil. We open up Vince Neil Inc. in the Rio. Then we open up Vince Neil's bar from Tampa. It's called Feel Goods. So there's one now in Vegas. Open up Feel Goods. One thing leads to another. After the opening day, Vince gets so drunk that when he leaves, Vince has a black Ferrari and it says Crew on the back of it. And I always fuck with him, like, yo, you should let me drive it. Yeah. So I saw he was trash and I was like, yo, Vince, you should probably get a cab. This is before Uber. I said, yo, you should probably get a cab. He's like, oh, I'm cool, da 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 da. White shirt on, fucking, what's the jeans with all the little stitching and shit? True Religion.
Oh,
True Religion.
Yeah.
All right, looking real wild. I'm like, yo, you should chill. I'm joking with him, like, yo, you should let me drive. Nah, I'm cool with his girl. I go grab the count. I go, yo, this dude is leaving. He walking in a zigzag. Now, if you remember, you can Google this. You know, the last time Vince got into a car accident, the motherfucker got killed. They just opened up this bar. The count go out there. Danny go out there like, yo, blah, blah. I see them do all these little hand gestures. It's like, whatever. He jump in the car and speed away. Next morning, we open up the shop in the Rio. My dude, Jerome, he was like a shop manager. I was a tattoo manager. He goes up on Facebook. Vince is standing there, Clark County Detention Center. Hit for DUI. He like, yo, the boss has got a DUI. I'm like, fuck. They have a little falling out because Danny just opened up. That's when we found out that it was mostly Danny's money to open up that shop. So Danny's like, yeah, fuck it. We gonna keep it with no ink. We out of here. You know what I mean? Then before I moved to Orlando and work at the Hart and Huntington. That's in City Walk there. Yeah. Me and my wife, when we moved to the East Coast, Danny started shooting another pilot, and that's what's now Counting Cars. Yeah. Blew the fuck up. And all those cars that he has was originally his dad's, and then he took it over. Okay. But it's cool that they're from Ohio.
That is really
and
cool.
Worked there. I had to go down to Fort Lauderdale. Me and my wife got a divorce. My mentor, and that's what comes from apprenticing, you know, I got a network of people all over the world since I can say who I apprentice under.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, there's somebody that's just like you. That's your homeboy. If you need to move down south, you can work with him. I don't know who's that. He says, my dude, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris was on Miami at the same time so he put me with Chris. You know what I mean? We do handcrafted in Wynwood.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We do Stab City, book released there from Ross Nagel and Limerick, which is a dope ass book. And for the last 11 years now, me and Chris have been back and forth. He had me since he was a judge on Eat Master. He brought me as a guest judge.
That's so dope. Now let me ask you here in Cleveland. I know you down in Florida now. And a little birdie told me you're gonna be guest tattooing at the homie shop. How can people get in touch with you and book to get you some of this? And if you don't look, and another thing I'd like you to speak on is where can people find on this social media some of your artwork? Because I'm trying to tell you right now, while you got a chance and he is going to be up in the land for a brief amount of time, I'm going to post this immediately, and you could get with him. I'm going to tell everybody where he's going to be at. He's going to be at Red Lion Tattoo, 4030 St. Clair. Tell them how they could get in contact with you, can book in, and possibly see some of your artwork, specifically the tattoo work that you could lay down on some people. And don't think he's not open for other artwork while you're here, too.
Well, I can't say it no better than that. You know what I mean? I can't say it no better than that. Definitely Red Lion Tattoo. Like I was talking about Chris before, he just produced a show, Tattoo Redo. So that's on Netflix. So check that out. And the links from that. At Handcrafted Dania Beach. At Twig Sparks on Instagram. At Night Fun Techniques on Instagram, and then soon to come YouTube, Twig Sparks on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I work at because, you know, he was a young homie coming up. So I generally, you know, I'd rather give love to the homies, and so that way, you know, we can do the brighter type of situation. Where we can change techniques and see where we at. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when I go to do conventions, when I first started, I've been tattooing for 24 years now, and luckily enough, my career started off like in front of a camera, like right on Las Vegas Boulevard, or, you know, at some millionaires, whatever. And I've always realized, like, damn, dude, I do these shows and it's only like 3 black dudes in the house or 2 black dudes in the house. You know what I mean? And now it's dope to have situations where I show up at those same events, and it's like a whole area of like Spanish dudes, black dudes, you know. So I like to see that the cultures are partaking, and that's why the art has been levitated to such a high level, because we have so many artists in the game now. Because back in the day, it was a biker dude trying to get some fucking, not saying it was like that, but it was a lot of like gang more affiliated, or like biker more affiliated, or motherfuckers tattooing just to get a fix. And now you got cats who are like super established artists in other mediums getting into the art because they don't know really about it. The same way you would jump into airbrushing, the same way you would jump into oil, you know what I mean? And so, you know, you have people with real skill who have a passion about the art. The same way the Ed Hardys or the Philip Lou's or the Mick Tattoos, you know, or the Jack Rudies, you know what I mean? Who are the masters of our era, you know?
That is so dope. Don't forget, you could catch him for bookings at Red Lion, and you could hit him up on my podcast anytime. Reach any of my social medias. I'll be plugged back in with it. I'll be remiss to not ask you one pot question for our pot podcast. Would it be sativa or indica or some type of hybrid?
I always like to do the indica, depending on the situation. If I do a long tattoo, especially something like over 5-6 hours, my mind locks in so hard that after the tattoo's over, my mind is still there. So I would do an indica. If I want to wake and bake and still have a day, then it's a sativa.
That's so dope. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to interview my big homie from way back. When I say way back, my man Twiggy Sparks. Check him out. We're going to catch you next week on the Voice It Radio. Once again, Tuesday at 4:20. Doing our regular podcast in the studio, 4:20 on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. We got to thank a couple people in the house right now. ABC Tavern on West 25th in Cleveland. My man Osman, on the cameraman, on the fly. I can't say thank you enough. And the one and only Days One from Red Lion. Guess what, everybody? My grandson and Dave's one birthday is the same day. I'll never forget them two brothers. Well, I love them both. That's so crazy. I have my godson and my son here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Once again, thank Osman on the cameraman, and thank my man Twiggy Sparks. We're going to eat this good smash burgers and get with you. Thank you so much.